Hello and welcome back to the track. Now it has been some time that we found out that GP is set to leave Red Bull for McLaren in 2028. The rumor mill went into overdrive once this came out. The biggest rumor that came out of this is that GP is going to McLaren to replace Andrea Stella because he was joining Ferrari in 2028. That's just ridiculous. Is Zack ready to retire? Could this be hinting at a Max and Papaya? If so, then this is one hell of a plan from Zack. Let's just say that GP's move to McLaren just threw most teams' plan out the window. Today we'll discuss what the top 5 reasons / predictions explaining GP's departure from Red Bull from least likely to most likely. The last two are honestly 50-50. Before we get to lights out, make sure you guys like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel if you don't get a good night kiss. And away we go. Now let's address the elephant in the room, and that is that this is all in preparation for Andrea Stella to replace Fred Vasseur. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that GP's move to McLaren is hinting at that, but let's entertain the idea for a second. Why would Ferrari want to get rid of Fred now or in the future? We know that Ferrari are no longer rebuilding anymore. They went the wrong direction in 25, but we're gonna leave that in the rearview mirror, even though the cars don't have one. But they know what's working and what isn't working in the car, and with ADUO on the way, that might just be enough for them to catch up to Mercedes. Outside of the engine, both drivers seem happy with the progress they've done so far. Why would Andrea Stella leave the #1 team for what is arguably the #2 or #3 team doing the same role? All Ferrari need to do is figure out their engine. Their chassis is chilling. So why would GP's move to McLaren be connected to Ferrari? Plus, all this shuffling wouldn't happen until 2028, so none of that makes sense to be happening now. So yeah, makes the least sense in my opinion. Reason #2 that could explain GP's move to McLaren: GP takes over Andrea takes over Zack retires. Zack has accomplished what he set out to accomplish at McLaren when he took over. They're going to be contenders this year. McLaren are way faster than we think, and I made a video going over this, so check it out if you haven't yet. Outside of the obvious issues of them being a little bit overweight and having a problem with their batteries, they haven't had a single week with no issues. Week 1, Oscar crashes. Week 2, both cars can't even start the race. Week 3, finally, both run the race, and Oscar, with a little time that he had in that car, he managed to get a podium. In a car that's overweight, I don't know, it sounds suspicious to me. The issues will fix themselves over time as they get to know the car more and they familiarize themselves with the systems. It's only a matter of time until McLaren get into the fight. So why leave a team that won back-to-back constructors, have the strongest engine in the grid, and 2 #1 drivers for, and it hurts me to say this, but Ferrari, and not even now, in 2028, I think a promotion makes more sense for Andrea, which would explain why GP isn't moving to McLaren until 2028. Why would Andrea leave to be a team principal somewhere else? Everything that's gone wrong so far for them honestly just sounds like a lot of bad luck. The only logical reasons would be for him to get promoted to CEO so that Zack can retire in 2028 and make GP the new team principal. Which brings me to reason #3, GP to replace Andrea so that Andrea can take on a new challenge. Now, could Andrea leave McLaren? Sure. And if he did, what would it be for Ferrari? Why not a team that's going to offer him freedom, money, opportunity? We all know how strict Ferrari can be when it comes to how they operate. Stella's been proven to be good where he goes. He did 14 years in Ferrari, and he's been in McLaren ever since. So why not go somewhere like the Aston Martin project? They don't have a team principal over there. They seem to have a lot more freedom and really no direction. So it sounds like if any team needs that direction from Andrea, it would be them. Or maybe Audi. They just lost Wheatley. They lost a team principal, or even Cadillac, who will be getting their new power unit at around the same time all of this is happening. The point is to go somewhere where he would have more control, a blank slate, and a real long-term project, not halfway through what Ferrari's doing right now. And if Andrea were to leave, then who better to replace him than GP? Somebody who is known to be really good at what he does and have a lot of experience and can bring a lot of knowledge to a team that's already doing amazing. Now let's get to the last two, which one is super exciting. Reason #4 explaining GP's move to McLaren, the Max long con. That's what I'm calling it. Even if getting GP wasn't about getting Max Verstappen in the future, you can't ignore the relationship that they have. Zack's been wanting Max for a while. He hasn't been shy about saying that bringing in GP is more than just about bringing his experience and caliber. That's a big word for me, but it's about laying the table for Max. So anything's possible. If Max leaves F1 at the end of this year, it's going to be a massive hit for the sport. But when the regulations change again, if Max wanted to come back, he's already said he would rather work with GP than anybody else. Now, GP may not be his race engineer, assuming he takes on a leadership role in McLaren, but maybe just being a McLaren might be enough for Max to say, new reg, new team, GP. By that point, I doubt Lando and Oscar, are going to be the drivers for McLaren. And I doubt this was solely trying to get Max, but there's no way that Zack wasn't. the second he started talking to GP. And Mercedes tried to get Max, and technically they did, just for GT3, but I bet my Guatemalan booty and say this about Max and Toto: until I see both Russell and Kimi with extended contracts, George isn't safe. So in the future, Mercedes might want to try to sweet talk Max. McLaren might actually be able to throw their name in the hat and say, hey, we also have a lot of good things and we have GP, come over here. And the thing that makes the most sense, but it's like the most boring out of all of them, is that it was just time for GP to move up, and we're all looking for something to keep us busy during this unexpected break. Fuck you, Trump. I blame you for all of my misfortunes right now. GP's the last one to get poached by every other major team, who we now know is McLaren. They lost Rob, Adrian, Horner, Wheatley, Helmet, and so many more. And now GP, his rumored role at McLaren is said to be Chief Racing Officer. Not really sure what they do, but this just makes more sense for him because Max has the option to stay in Red Bull until 2028, or at least that's the picture that's being painted, with the whole, if Red Bull can give Max a car fast enough, he can walk away at any point. So I think Max told GP he was gonna leave or thinking about leaving, and GP took that opportunity to set himself up somewhere else once Max's contract runs out, assuming he even stayed until the end of 28 and didn't want to just take a sabbatical year or two and do some GT3 until a new set of regulations. Red Bull are just simply not the team that they used to be. Just like every other team that's at the top, they eventually have to be taken down. But if the engine that they have in the Red Bull is as good as they say, maybe we might be able to see Max and GP win another one before they break up. Assuming that the regulations change for the better as this year progresses, we're already seeing a lot of changes, so maybe they will be enough to keep Max happy for a little bit, but we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of this year plays out to have a better idea of what kind of predictions we want to make for next year. But now I'm just ranting. So there you have it, 5 reasons to explain GP's departures from Red Bull. I think all make sense. I think we all want the most exciting ones to be the reason why he's moving, because they're more exciting. But I think in this moment, it's just time for GP to go somewhere else, and Red Bull has officially crumbled from what they once were. If you guys watched all the way through, I love you. Leave your comments down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I always get it confused and I always forget what I say and what I haven't said, but until the next one, it's lights on. Bye.